My name is Akito. I'm a London-based DJ and producer, and in this video guide I'll be going through the strategies and methods I've used over the years to plan successful DJ tours without a booking agent. We'll be covering everything from your electronic press kit to getting your travel sorted and a roof over your head, so make sure you stick about until the end for all the details. As always, if you feel I've missed anything or you have any further questions, please feel free to leave a comment under this video. This may sound familiar from my video on PR and promo, but to organise a successful tour, you will have to plan way ahead. The key factor in this is time. I've been advised on numerous occasions and have stuck to at least 4 months before the intended start date of the tour, as there are a limited amount of spaces that can facilitate you and your music. This gives the promoter a chance to lock in dates early with venues as they get booked far in advance. If you plan on playing the clubs around the world people rave on about, give yourself enough time to arrange your tour and the necessary travel documents. Not only will you be able to play the better spaces, but sorting out the travel will be much cheaper too. Plus your choices of accommodation can be better. We'll go into more detail later in this video. Now you know how long it may take to organise your tour. Before you start reaching out to potential promoters and club owners, you'll need to create an EPK. The first thing most clubs or promoters will ask for, regardless if they're huge fans of your music or completely unaware of it, is an EPK. This is short for an electronic press kit, also known as an artist press kit. This commonly contains a PDF file and a plain text file of the artist bio, including press and social links, which will usually include a folder or link to high-res press shots. Promoters can use these EPKs in many ways, from selling the idea of you performing to a club owner, to remixing your biography for the blurb of an event page, or even getting local press leading up to the night of the event. So it's definitely worth spending time on it and making sure it bangs, as it can make or break people's impressions of you. The bio is usually no more than A4. Try to make it really insightful and engaging. You are literally selling yourself and sparking interest through words and the press kit's presentation. It's worth including your career highlights, links to recent press, and your social media links. Keep in mind, most clubs and promoters will book you by your social media numbers and commercial viability. So in order to get quick replies and planning to go smoothly, it's best to include as much information from the get-go. Having the folder of images or a link to them saves the unnecessary back and forth of promoters asking you for press pics. And it saves you an embarrassment of them using a random photo after a 3-day bender from your Facebook account. The EPK can also include your rider and technical rider. I personally don't include this in the press kit, as my equipment list is a very common DJ setup, and I'll confirm it with them once the booking is being finalised. The electronic press kit is basically the CV of a touring DJ or producer, while the emails and direct messages reaching out are similar to a sales pitch or a cover letter. As with any job application, take your time and be considerate. Now you have your EPK looking and reading amazing, it's time to ask yourself a few questions. If you're not yet touring your own country or continent, it could be tricky to travel across the other side of the world. I'm all for being ambitious, but if the demand doesn't exist yet, it's going to be very difficult. The most common progression I've seen amongst my friends and colleagues touring is local, then national, to their own continent, another continent, then worldwide. Some people do skip a few steps as their following is bigger in different regions. Most of it is down to demand. As you become more musically active and most importantly perform well, this will generally increase, allowing you to travel further and more frequently. Taking all of this into consideration, I'd use this as a guide to think of and select my region. Once you've picked your region, you'll want to put on your research hat and dig through the web for some answers. For most music niches, there are particular clubs and club nights that appear more frequently than others. The pattern is most evident when looking through similar artists or labels' tours. So if your friends, colleagues or artists that you look up to have toured the regions you are planning to, it's worth checking out where and for who. Resident advisors, event listing and DJ pages are good for this part of the research, and so is looking up tour artwork for artists in a similar niche. This will give you a better understanding of who to communicate with and an idea of a desirable route. Jot down the names of nights, clubs and locations. Create a database of people and places you could potentially play. Get in contact information as you go along. If you're struggling to find contact info for a specific club or club night, you can always drop them a message on their Instagram or Facebook page. It's also worth asking people you know that have done these tours for pointers and connections too. Now you have gathered a healthy database of contacts and locations. Before reaching out to them, you have to consider how long you can actually be away for and set a dedicated amount of time to your tour, unless of course you're balling and completely flexible. Your availability and date should be included when messaging the promoters and clubs. You should also have a performance fee or landed fee in mind too. We'll go over this in more detail soon. To inquire about getting bookings, I usually hit people up on socials. I'm pretty casual in my planning from start to finish, so most of my organising has been through direct messages and the odd email for anything I think is very important, but do what feels right and works for you. As the booking confirmations come through, I'll update promoters of pending bookings and loosely start planning out a route. By this point, you'll have to be a bit patient and sometimes let nature run its course until all the confirmations come in. After I've secured a booking or two, I'll also post on my socials that I'll be over between these dates in this region and to hit me up for any booking inquiries. This usually helps to fill out spare dates in new and different locations. It sounds pretty obvious, but always agree a fee before confirming any performance. Make sure you're happy with this fee. The last thing you really want to do is to lose money or to be unsure of how much you will actually earn. And once I am happy and the date is confirmed, for cash flow and security purposes, I'll ask the promoter of each confirmed show for a deposit of 50%. The remaining 50% I'll collect after the completion of my performance. This helps for paying for any extra expenses like accommodation between shows that aren't covered by the club or promoter, which is something I'll do before I even leave online, as it's usually cheaper in advance. There are also a few types of fees to look out for. Simply the fee for you to turn up and perform. This will usually include a flight share between the promoters to cover the cost of your travel to them. Best to find out and be clear before agreeing to any fee, as you may be out of pocket paying for extra travel expenses. And next up, the landed fee. The landed fee includes both the performance fee and the flight expense massaged into one lump sum. I'll usually request a landed fee as I like booking my own flights. It's a peace of mind thing. Beyond the performance or landed fee, most clubs or promoters should also cover your rider, your technical rider, equipment list, ground travel, accommodation, and a meal. Everything else you'll most likely have to pay for in between performances. If anything is ever unclear in your agreement, simply just ask. Most club owners and promoters in my experiences have been extremely caring and helpful. Once the dates are confirmed and the route is finalised, I'll start to contact online stations and live streams for available slots or confirm any guest slots with people that have reached out to me. I always leave this until last as it saves time rescheduling if my route happens to change along the way. Next, the travel documents. It is illegal to travel and work in most countries as a non-immigrant without the correct visa, so please apply and take the safe option. Basically, don't fuck up your chances of travelling in the future. If you do choose to tour on a tourist visa, good luck and watch what you post online, as some governments are watching inbound foreigners' social medias more than others. Mostly for political reasons, I'm told, but posting that you're going to work in their country without attaining sufficient paperwork could always be used against you. So be careful, be smart. If you are a UK resident, also make sure your passport has over 6 months left before it's about to expire. Even though it's technically in date, they will happily turn you away. Besides fees for performing, you can always bring and sell merchandise with you. Obviously, there are laws to bringing in and selling goods, so check these laws before doing so. Communication can be difficult with ridiculous roaming fees to firewalls blocking your socials. Take this into consideration before travelling by sorting out local or cheaper rate SIM cards, mobile Wi-Fi, downloading and installing a VPN service to your devices. It's also worth installing local messaging apps and getting the contacts of people you'll be in communication with. Touring can be a huge strain mentally and physically, with long exhausting hours in the club surrounded by drink and drugs doesn't exactly help, but I'm here to remind you it's absolutely fine to leave after your set. It's not a problem if you don't make it to the after party. It's more important to look after and ultimately enjoy yourself, which touring should be about. And on that note, we've come to the end of this week's video. If you've gained any value from it, please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, love.